The UK job market feels kind of broken right now. And that's because it probably is. Been recruiting for almost 18 years now, and I've worked through multiple recessions. I've seen mass redundancies after the global crash. But this feels different. Applications are up, offers are down, and the people being left behind aren't the ones who lack talent. They're the ones that haven't figured out the new set of rules we're playing by. What do you do when the rules have changed but no one's told you? The reality is this: number of applications per role is at its highest it's ever been. It's gone up by about 60% over the last 2 years. Hiring teams haven't grown to match that. In fact, most have shrunk. The recruiters are now doing more with less. That means your CV is spending less than 10 seconds in front of a human pair of eyes. That's if it even gets there at all. The bit that doesn't make sense: technology is the best it's ever been, but yet the candidate experience is now the worst it's ever been. It's now swipe, click, click. You can apply for multiple roles anywhere at any time. The system is also designed to filter out risk, not always find the best talent. That means candidates who are perfectly suitable for the role they're applying for are now being filtered out, being rejected before anyone's even read their name. Now here's what most people miss: candidates that are being hired in this market aren't necessarily the most qualified. They're the most adaptable, and they're the ones that understand how the system now works. I don't want to be all doom and gloom. We've all had enough of that over the last year. There are some actionable steps you can take, have a better understanding of what's going on right now, and really help you navigate these waters. By doing so, you can improve your chances massively. You can be shortlisted more, avoid being rejected at the first hurdle. You can get your details in front of someone that can actually say yes. Here's the thing: if the market is tough, it could work in your favor if you adapt, and adapt quickly. That's because the majority of people won't be. They'll be sending the same CV into the same ATS black hole. They'll essentially be in the waiting room of doom, wondering why nothing ever comes back. And all they hear is radio silence and ghosting. And you don't have to be one of them. What does adapting to the current market even mean? If you stick around to the end of this video, I'll explain what adapting actually looks like. Let's start with your CV. Most CVs are written for the role you want, but not for the role you're applying for. It's a critical mistake that's setting you back right from the get-go. Each role you apply for, you need to mirror the job description language. It doesn't mean copying it. It means mirroring it. You're hiring for a plumber, but yet an electrician applies. Obviously, you're going to hire a plumber, not an electrician, even though they may have similar skills, tools, equipment. The job description asks for someone with stakeholder management experience. Your CV should read stakeholder management, not I build relationships. If you're applying for an art director role, but your CV reads as a designer, likelihood of you being rejected rises massively. Why you have to do this? Most companies are running your CV through an ATS. That's an applicant tracking system. They do that before a human even lays eyes on it. And now they're also running your CV through AI. The software is matching keywords, nothing else. I worked with a senior copywriter, frustrated about roles that were unaligned and undervalued. She had 10 years plus of solid experience, couldn't get a single callback in her chosen field. We rewrote her CV to match the language for the roles she was targeting, and within 3 weeks she had multiple interviews and offers. Same experience, same skill set, same portfolio, different outcomes. The second thing: stop relying on LinkedIn and job boards alone. LinkedIn, Reed, Indeed, brilliant for market awareness, but insufficient on their own. A really underutilized technique that most people have no idea about is email etiquette. Transactional, unsophisticated outreach will not serve you well. Search out the role you want, research the company, identify wins and recent campaigns, connect appropriately, send a short, highly humanized message. A generic one: dear hiring manager, or I'd love to work with your design team. Include something that resonates with you, something you're passionate about. What is it about the brand that inspires or motivates you? Maybe you've been following the agency's work for some time, seen some of the awards they've won. Let them know you'd appreciate a conversation about hiring and your availability. 9 times out of 10, that message will get read, not a generic AI formulated email. That's because it's specific and it's you. It stands out from the crowd. Your career is a marathon, not a sprint. Even though sometimes you will be in sprint mode. Course changes, new terrain, different altitude, different directions, corners to cut, or the long route. You keep training the exact same way. You may not be ready on race day if you haven't done the reps. You may fail, and it's not because you're unfit, it's because the preparation hasn't matched the new conditions. The job market has changed the course, more rocky and brutal than ever before. It's longer. The candidates adapting their training, the ones that are doing more reps, not just running more miles and burning themselves out. They're running smarter. They're the ones that are getting over the finishing line. You just have to be more prepared than ever before. Yes, this is the toughest market I've ever seen. I'm sure we all just want to forget last year even happened. Here's what I know from doing this for almost 2 decades and helping people land roles in every kind of market. The patterns are always the same. The market is like a bottle of milk and cream rises to the top. Gap between those that succeed and those that fail isn't always about who's the most talented or who can grind the hardest. Always about attitude, energy, and strategy. People that are getting hired right now are doing 3 things differently. And if you stick around, I'll explain all 3. No longer have 1, 2, or 3 CVs that will do the heavy lifting. They are tailoring every single CV for every application and leaving nothing to chance. Building real relationships. That's a value exchange, not transactional. Stepping up their email game. The 3rd thing they're doing, which may be the most important of all, they're now converting job hunting into a skill. And we all know that skill is something you can get better at. You can improve with time and practice, not just something you do occasionally when you're in need or desperate. In my opinion, the 3 most important factors to take into account: health, happiness, and finance. If you don't have health, what have you got? If you're not happy, that can affect your health. And finance too is incredibly important. If you don't have that, that can also affect your health and happiness. 9 times out of 10, it's your career that drives your financial situation, unless you're lucky enough to have privilege. Your career is one of the most underrated and undervalued investments you can ever make. You'll spend more money, time, and effort maintaining and paying for your car than you will your career. You may even spend more money, time, and effort on a holiday than you will on getting your next promotion. And right up until recently, you've probably been so busy. You've been on the hamster wheel of life. If you're currently in the market, drop a comment below. Tell me, what's your biggest challenge so far? I read every single one, and I'd love to know more about you and your current situation. Don't forget to subscribe for more honest career advice, guidance, tips, and best practice from someone that's been on both sides of the hiring table. And I'll see you in the next one.